What is going on, guys? Tony here. Welcome back to the next installment of the Kensei Advanced Matchup Guide. Today we're going to be looking at Conqueror. Not a favorite by most people. He's pretty annoying to deal with, mostly because his moveset isn't that crazy, so he does have to rely on his shield bash quite a bit. Now, just looking at the Conqueror, we can see his light attacks and his heavy attacks, but something kind of crazy about the Conqueror is he's the only character in the game who can't feint their heavy attacks. So if a heavy's coming out from the Conqueror, he's going to be actually going through with it and you'll have a chance to parry. Now, kind of similarly how we talked about in Valkyrie with her superior armor / blocking on her light attacks, Conqueror has this same thing but for his heavy attacks. So you can see as I charge up, his shield actually begins to glow, and that's going to be the ones where if they're attacking from the right side and then you throw up your heavy right there, it'll block their attack and then your attack will go through with it. So that's something you got to look out for as well, to try to, feint up your attacks as well, because you don't want to get, free heavies off on you, because he does put out decent damage with his heavies. Another really quick thing with his heavy attacks is if he lands a heavy attack on you, he can go immediately into his shield bash, so just showing it off right here. He spins around right there and then he can get his light off or whatever. So you need to be cognizant of those heavies. You don't want them to come through. Either block, parry, dodge out of the way, but don't let them hit you, because, he just gets free freaking guard shit on you. So heavies, I always usually go for a parry, and since he can't feint, makes it a little bit easier for you. Now, we'll look at his dash pushes and his shield bashes. He has 3 different variations. He has his first dash one right there, where he knocks you like this, and he gets a light attack. This is the one that most of them just spam regularly. It gets pretty annoying to deal with, and you got to learn to deal with that with reactions and swift strike timings and whatnot. Now he has his one that he goes from unlock mode, where he actually knocks you over if he runs at you. So if you ever see a Conqueror sprinting at you, chances are he's going to do this, and be prepared to knock out of the way. He gets a free heavy off of it, because the recovery time takes a bit for him to go off. Now he also has a full guard stance, and as you can see right here, it doesn't really take any stamina. And from this, he can actually go into a bigger chain right there. I'm not 100% sure if the heavy's confirmed off of it, but let's say you're in the full guard mode and you get hit into a wall. So that is confirmed right there, that heavy. So that's something you have to look out for, because he could just sit in here if he wants, because it doesn't take any stam, which is kind of annoying. Another thing is his charge up heavy. Now if you hold down the heavy button, he gets, he starts swinging his flail, and it takes stam from this, so he's probably going to throw it out, but he doesn't have to. If he just hits the normal feint button, it cancels it, and then he doesn't have to throw it out if you're just, staying back because the attack is coming. But this actually has 2 levels to it, and I'll show you. So the first one, he charges up, he glows a little bit. See, he does good damage, close to a quarter health on this PK. But watch as I hold it down longer, you see my arm actually begins to glow more red. So right there, when it starts to glow around the shaft of the mace flail thing he has, you throw it through and it actually does about 1/3 of the PK's health. So there's actually 2 levels to that, so he can just do a quick charge up and then throw it like that, and he gets the superior armor on these as well. So if you throw out an attack when he's in this and he gets that block off on you, that's going to be some serious damage. His zone attack is actually one of the only zone attacks I feel is an actual zone. He can spam it a few times and he basically just swings the thing way over his head like this, and I actually consider this to be one of the only zones in the game. It's pretty good in 4v4 modes, because I've seen a lot of Conquerors just run up to where the minions are spawning and they're just like this, and then they clear out a whole wave in 3 seconds. So that is something else that you want to look out for. Another just kind of basic combat tip, so you'll see when I do this little charge right there, I have to dash into it. It's not just straight up like that, because that's a guard break. So when you see him actually dash and you dash away, let's say, to avoid it, you need to be careful, because he can just go like this and then guard break you as you're dashing. So you see, you get it right there, then he does that, but he could just go like this, and while you're dashing, get this, and then he gets his attacks off as well. So we can start some combo chains from that. That's pretty much all he has offensively. I'll jump into another bot game right now just to show off some of the superior blocking that I was talking about. Alright guys, coming into the bot game, we're just going to show off some of the superior blocking with the heavies. Now, it is the same button as parry. I don't know, some Conquerors might remap their heavies or something, or their parry button to make this a little bit easier. But basically, you just got to throw out the heavy right before the parry window, and then you get that superior block off, and then you get the free damage. So something like that. It's pretty useful. So I can do it with this as well. So let me try to show this off a little bit more. So in his charge up attack, as soon as the raider begins to attack, right there, and then that does a shit ton of damage. That's one thing that I see a lot of Conquerors do, is they'll wait for you to attack, and then they'll go for this move to get it for free. And right there, you kill him because it does a third to a quarter of your health, something like that. So it's pretty ridiculous. Another thing I just kind of wanted to show is with his full guard stance, he doesn't get stuff like Lawbringer off a block. He can immediately go into it. So he can go in right here, and I guess as you're going for an attack, let's say, he can then bash into you. It doesn't cancel like Lawbringer's does, so he does have a little bit of interruptible-ness to him. That's not really a word, but it's the best way I can describe it, is he can be interrupted, whereas like Lawbringer's push, even if you attack him, he still goes through with it. So if he's going into full guard, you still actually like stun him with your attacks, as you can see with Raider. And if he just blocks an attack while out of stamina, he gets knocked over like this. I just wanted to show that off real quick. So his full guard doesn't get used that often, but if he does, he's probably just looking to make a play with his bash really quickly to try to get a heavy combo or something off. Alright guys, this is going to be the part where I basically show some stuff to do against the Conqueror. It's going to be kind of basic. I kind of feel like I repeat myself a bit in this, but I guess it helps to see it be done on the character itself. So first thing, obviously, is going to be parry those heavy attacks. You know, since the Conqueror is unable to feint, you being able to parry those is going to be essential. Especially those ones that they take to wind up and everything, like how they're doing right now. You're able to parry those, and it takes a big chunk of stamina away from them. So they're really only allowed to throw basically 2 attacks if they're throwing one of those. So just always look out for their parries, and then like usual, you're going to want to start your combo chains after that. Just go into guard breaks or any other thing. So, you know, guard break, into a wall, whatever the hell you want to do. The next thing, obviously it's going to be kind of hard to replicate it on a bot, but I'm just going to say it's going to be to feint your attacks as well, to draw out said heavies in order for you to parry. So, you know, basically just going in, throw out your heavies. Bots don't really care about feints, but you know, a real player, when you're going in, they'll feint and they'll try to maybe throw out a heavy to parry it so they can get some sort of damage off and then do their little shield bash on you. But if you're able to go through there and, you know, do whatever, they're out of stam, get some sort of combo on them. But yeah, basically, you know, nothing super new. Just feint those attacks and make sure you're mixing up your gameplay. You don't want to be caught by that the superior armor that they have on their heavies as well. So if you're throwing out just a bunch of heavies, they can counter it and then get big damage off on you very quickly. Alright guys, so for here it would be our last tip basically, and that would be just the timing on the actual shield bash from the Conqueror. Now I'm not going to actually do this in the bot game because it's kind of hard to replicate, and the bot does what it wants when it wants. Just a couple things to look out for actually. So let's say you block the charge up heavy from a Conqueror. It does stun you a little bit, just like from the block it leaves you staggered a little bit. So they could probably get off a shield bash if that connects on you and you don't end up parrying it or dodging it. So that's just another thing to look out for. So you can see right there, I kind of get staggered a bit, and you know, I get hit by the guard break because of it. Or not the guard break, the shield bash. But hopefully the gameplay will be able to show off more of an actual Conqueror player and how they actually play, and how to conquer the shield bash, how to combat the shield bash, and just kind of show the timing and things to do with it. It's kind of precise, it's kind of reaction based, but for the most part you'll be able to do it. You just need to be wary, and always be wary for the dash in guard break instead of the shield bash.